Up close and personal.
What's up, and welcome back to Up Close and Personal. I'm here with someone who, if you've been around the city of Tacoma, you more than likely have seen her art somewhere, someplace. The one, the only, Julia.
Thank you. Hello.
So how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm ecstatic. Great to be here. I'm ready to get this interview on. I'm like, woo! I'm an artist too, so I appreciate people who really kill it.
Thank you.
Now, what kind of art do you even create? Because what you have, I feel, is a very diverse spectrum. So how would you explain it to the viewers?
Yeah, I usually introduce myself as an artist and an art event organizer. And the events and classes and art sessions that I do is more geared towards artists specifically and local Tacoma artists. So I enjoy doing my banana paintings. That's like one segment, and events surrounding bananas. And then I was born and raised Catholic, so that has a big influence on my art. So that's like another section of my art. And then I enjoy community a lot, so that's where the event organizing comes in, doing artist meetups and different art sessions and drawing classes and stuff like that.
Dang, all right. And you got her in luck, because I want to touch on one of the things she said too in a minute. But when I think of her art, the first thing that comes to mind is this famous banana. So do you want to kind of describe why people might think that I might get that image?
Yeah, a little over a year ago, I did a live painting, which is another thing I enjoy doing, of me painting a banana, and it was inspired by the banana duct tape to the wall piece. I believe that was done in 2019 in Florida. And I really enjoy that concept of art can be whatever you want it to be, and the viewer assigns whatever meaning they want to assign to it and how they relate to it. And I really enjoyed that. And I like the look of the banana, and I carry that narrative. I never assign a meaning to the banana. But so I was painting the banana a year ago in December, and I used a banana to paint it, and it was more of a performance art thing. So I mixed the paint, I opened a banana, took a bite out of it, dipped it in the paint, and painted it. And then there was people walking around, so I had a whole bunch of bananas, and I would hand them out to people, and So that's what kind of kicked off the banana thing, and it's kind of went from there. And it's been like a self-branding thing as an artist, so people know me for it. When they see bananas, they'll send me pictures of it and stuff like that, which is really cool for me. And I love that it's a simple thing, but lots of different demographics will relate to it. So for me, I didn't know it would be such a personal branding thing when I started doing it, but it's kind of snowballed into that, which I am very okay with. I love it, and we'll keep going with it.
Yeah. Right, you're like, oh, come on, bring it, stop. No, come on.
Yes. Yeah, I like it.
Now, my third question is, you have a lot going on, and it's amazing how you're able to do all of it and still, make it look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
But how did you become so active in the art community?
For me, it was more out of necessity. I will say the phrase, like, I'm too stubborn to do anything else but art. So whatever I do, whatever side job it is, it's somehow art related. And whatever I organize, whatever I have a hand in, it has to be art related, or I don't really want to do it. So it was kind of out of necessity. I just needed to get involved. I love doing community things, so art, community, doing events, being part of teaching or assisting, teaching classes, and that's kind of, yeah.
That's dedication. Dang.
I got a lot of people helping me, though. That's a big part of it. It's like it takes a village to raise a kid. I feel like I'm the kid, and Tacoma is like helping me as I'm, trying to help.
Hey, you never
get
know.
More art out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple paintings in Vegas where I was like, $5,000 for this piece? No.
Yeah, art is subjective,
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
so, I was going to say, earlier you run the Tacoma Artist Meetups. How did that kind of come about, and what exactly is it? Because I experienced it, and I had a blast. I am going back. We'll see me there.
Yes, Wednesdays. So that started, I was a part of the Tacoma Art Market and helping organize that. and we had a market on Thea Foss Waterway, and there was a musician playing, and there were a few other artists there, and it was a slower part of the market, and we all brought art supplies, even though we were selling art and stuff like that. And it was just a really cool experience for like a solid 2 hours. We were just making art and listening to live music and just like a group of artists and that energy. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, we should do this more often. Like, how about every week? And then I picked a day, and we started it on Wednesdays. I think it's a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, and it's still every Wednesday, 5 to 8, and it's really beautiful how it's grown. From word of mouth, a little bit of social media, but a lot of word of mouth. Yeah.
Now, being an artist, you obviously have made a lot of different pieces. What are some of the pieces that you're either the most proud of or that you've gotten the most recognition from?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say one of my latest sculptures is the big Sacred Heart that I did. That's 4 feet wide and 4 feet tall. And a Sacred Heart is something, if you are Catholic or know about Catholicism, it's a symbol that's used quite often, and one that I remember seeing as a child, and I really like, and I've used it a lot in some of my paintings, but I've wanted to make a sculpture of it. So last fall I made a sculpture of it, and I've been able to install it a few different places. The last one being the Tacoma Light Trail, and that was a really good experience, and people related with it even if they didn't understood like the meaning and where it came from. They still saw it as a piece of art and enjoyed it, and that's cool. It's part of the thing of, even if you do have a narrative with a piece, you know, people still assign however they connect with it, and so that's really cool that people still connected even if they didn't understand where it came from and stuff like that. But that one has gotten more recognition. I don't think just due to the size. It was just due to being part of the Tacoma Light Trail, which is something that I haven't done before. So it was reaching a bigger audience and a new audience that I hadn't shown work to before.
And if you haven't seen it, this thing is phenomenal. I saw it in like right before the gems got put on, and then afterwards. How many gems went on that bad boy?
Yes, I put 3,500 gems on there. It was a lot of surface area to cover.
By hand, each
so
one.
Little gems. Yeah.
So yeah,
quite a few.
Artists have a level of dedication and patience that. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that one. And then the other piece that comes to mind is a piece that I did surrounding the topic of suicide. And that was part of a group show. We all were doing a piece surrounding our own experiences with suicide and mental health and stuff like that. So it was cool to be part of that show and show how suicide and mental health has affected my life, starting from growing up to as a young adult. And then to see what other people created and, you know, their experience with it.
Oh, I could dig that. Art is it's a form of expression, and sometimes, you know, just if someone else saw that, for all you know, someone could have saw that, it could have saved their life, and they could have been like, you know what, this is what I needed to really push me and let me know that I'm meant to be here. So, no, that's awesome you did that.
Yeah, and it comes back to the thing of community too. If I just made it on my own, it's one thing, but when you have a group of people doing it around the same thing, it's like the power in numbers. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, it's as someone who is able to put her art out there, and you know everyone around absolutely loves it, it's known around town. What would you say to someone who loves doing art but is too scared to actually show it out in public or show anyone around? What words would you give them?
I would say first think about your goals as an artist. So that's always a good question for anyone going into anyone or into any. Excuse me. That's always a good question for anyone going into anything. Is think about your goals and what the end goal is, or you know the smaller ones, but also the big picture goal. So if you want to do art, great, do art. What are your goals? Do you want to be in a gallery? Do you want to mostly sell online? Do you want a big online presence? Do you want to sell door to door? Do you want to be doing pop-ups and selling prints and stickers and wearable art? Think about your goals. Do you want to make money? Do you want it to be a side hustle? Or do you want it to be a hobby? And if you don't need to show your work, then don't feel like you have to. Some work shouldn't be shown, is make for yourself. But if part of your goal is to share your artwork, just go for it. It's all a learning curve. No one really knows what they're doing until they're doing it. So if you do want to share your work, just do it. No one's perfect when they start. No one is ever perfect. Everyone is different. So just start, and then you figure it out as you go on.
Trial by error. I'm a knucklehead, so I learned a lot the hard way. Sorry. So now, one of the things I think is funny is, I see you, and I see you as someone who isn't afraid to put their art out there, who isn't afraid to show anything that you're working on or what you have done. But my curiosity is, when did you actually start putting your art out there?
Ooh, that is a good question. So growing up, I was a dancer, mostly a tap dancer. And then once I got older, I started teaching tap. So like putting that out there in that art form has always been there. But I didn't start doing my paintings, sculptures, and drawings and stuff like that until about 2 years ago. So that's when I started putting it out there.
Dang, blowing up like that. All right. Now, we're in the fun year of 2023. Do you have any art goals that you think you might want to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward to this upcoming year, it's mostly getting outside of Washington and reaching farther than just Tacoma and our local community here. So doing stuff and more art-focused trips, so to Portland and to Chicago, which is closer to where my folks live, so that's always helpful. And to branch out and do stuff there. And I have a trip planned to New Orleans later this year. So kind of branching out there and not just networking, but getting to know what art is like in other art communities, not just our community here.
Exactly. Dang, that'd be kind of cool. I want to go down south one day for that crawfish. I haven't had crawfish
yet.
Yeah,
you know.
All right. So, one of the fun things I think is people have different inspirations. Do you have a favorite artist, whether it's a new person, someone that's old, someone that's been gone for 250 years? I don't know. Anyone that you admire that you want to kind of let someone to go check out?
Yeah, so locally I have a lot of mentors who help me out, and they're generally of the generation, like 2 generations above me, which is super great because it's a completely different perspective than what I have on the world, and that's great. So Mig Kanicki, he is a big influence in life drawing. Val Persoon with painting, she's a big influence on me, and someone I look up to. Renee Healy is another one. She is a great community person and artist as well. Chris Yates, another person who's helped me out. And yeah, Carissa. Happy Goth Art is what she goes by. She is another phenomenal artist.
I've seen her. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew one on the list, yes.
Oh, yeah. Those are some great local people. And then more famous people. Keith Haring has had a big effect on my work and his style. Damien Hirst and his mindset of how he looks at conceptual pieces.
All right. I can really dig that. Woo! See, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorites is because I like Chicano art and my people. Mm-hmm. So Frida Kahlo definitely has always been I love her art.
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right. So we're getting close. Don't worry. I won't keep you too long. Now here's the fun one. I'm curious because you said how you've always done something involving art. You won't do it if it doesn't involve art. But sometimes, even when we do what we love, has it ever felt kind of not like a chore, but almost like more of a job than a passion?
Absolutely. And for me, that's commissions. I hate doing them. It has to be a very special circumstance for me to say yes. Because, and there has to be a deadline set. I've noticed that. There's a couple where I did not set a deadline, and I just don't do it. That's what ends up happening. And that's horrible. I don't ever want that to happen. Because that's not good for anyone. But yeah, when people have very specific things that they want in a painting or a drawing, and usually I just tell them no because it's way too stressful for me and I don't enjoy it. So yeah, usually any events or any organizing of things or stuff that's already up my alley, yes, I can get behind it. But if it's a very specific painting, I usually say no because it's too much work. Like it's a big headache for me.
Well, we want to make sure we keep your head nice and tight because we got lots of creative ideas we want to see come out of there. Woo!
Absolutely.
And because we want to see these crazy ideas, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yes, find me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, Julia Josephine 920, and I am on TikTok and Facebook as well, Julia Josephine 920.
All right. I mean, don't worry. I'll put the links in the description so you guys don't have to search too hard. Lazy. Well, thank you very much for your time. It was absolutely wonderful. Do you have any shout outs you want to give before we wrap this up?
Yeah, to the local art businesses in Tacoma, 38 Creates, Heritage Coffee and Plant House, Arco Framing and Gallery, Artists, Craftsmen and Supply, Shop Small. That's
Keep it local.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I absolutely enjoyed this entire interview, and
Thank you.
I'm excited for the Tacoma Artist Meeting.
Thank you so much.
So you guys take it easy. It's Buddy V, the modern day Aztec warrior. Hoo, 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 hoo.